who I am. It's where I'm coming from. I cause myself away, away, away. I cause myself away, away. Paranoid, you claim this love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart
Saffron.
that was already shattered.
All right, I'm breaking the waiting. I see Saffron in here. That's it. That's it. Kill the music. Kill it. End this EDM nightmare. Let's get right to it. You see what you did, Saffron? I've been like, why hasn't Saffron been coming around? Cindy D, my son's life mattered. It is fantastic to see you as always. Pooh, aka DJ Bricks, by the way, massive congratulations on all the amazing work that your boy is doing. You've sent me via text, I think, a lot of awesome links and stuff. Feel free to email it so I can open it and share anything. Clips, videos, or news. Your boy's killing it, brother, and we're super proud of you. Who did I miss? Saffron, where have you been? You had me all up in my head, and I was worried. But I'm not gonna make this all about you, even though I've been worried. I've been missing you, Queen Survivor, the queen of all queens. Hello, and there might be a mystery insane person. It's very possible. Okay, do you guys remember? Don't worry, I'm not reopening the can. Uh, oof. So remember we had Fowles and Brennan on here talking about that whole escapade. So the lady did like a reaction. She doesn't want to come here, and that, I think that's for the best. But she did say some very reckless things and some completely false things. So all I will say is young lady or older lady, regardless of all the craziness, I respect you as a human being. You're going through a lot of stuff, and I think, just like I know I have been my own worst enemy many times in my life, you appear to be your own worst enemy. And the route you're going, I don't think it's gonna work out for you. You know, I don't think it's really gonna go anywhere for anybody. But you went for some low hanging fruit. You said some wild stuff, which is like literal slander. You know, and you made it clear you used my name. And oh, by the way, I'm in Florida, or as you believe, I'm in Israel. I mean, my Shabbat Shalom really freaked you out. Seafowls was definitely, he actually was born during the time of the pyramids. They had to roll him down and off the pyramids. I mean, I get confused because he was also in the Aztec pyramids. So I get confused. Egypt, South America. I mean, he's really everywhere and nowhere at once. Check outside your window. He's calling from inside the house. I gotta tease you. You went after my mother. You said some things, but hey, okay, we're moving on with that. Okay, I said everything I'm ever gonna say to you about you. You're a little nutso. That's okay. People can be crazy. It's a crazy world. Now, guys, I got some footage. I don't know where to start. Okay, damn it, Saffron, I missed you so much. All right, that's enough about that. I am watching an interview. You guys got to see. Let me show you guys this right quick. I just want to like give a shout out to one of the best channels on YouTube. Guaranteed. If you want to watch something that's so real, like cut straight to the bone, and it's just, I think this is one of the rarest, super most authentic channels that exist. Period. And it's called Soft White Underbelly. Allow me to. This is the newest one. There's some amazing human beings and stories, and this man, like this guy, really, he's inspiring something I always thought, which is I love interviewing people, believe it or not, and I want to put down this. There we go. feel free to check out the link and check out Soft White Underbelly. It is it's a great channel with real people and real issues. So with that being said, let's see. I'm gonna fast forward to something that oh boy, let me make sure the face while I open this up from thank you Shamrock, and to one of my friends that sent me this. This video is strange, okay? And I want to dispel something before it plays. Now, I don't know, like the title is just conveniently, I think I can let you guys see what I see. The title just says Jeffrey Epstein's island is still being used. There's no evidence of that from this to part 2 of 3 video, but the video in and of itself is strange enough to warrant, looking into it. It's not comforting. So I did, I asked my friend. He dabbles into the conspiracy theory. I've known him since 7th grade, and he sent me this, and he was outraged. Oh goodness gracious, fun times. My HDMI cable. It's okay though. I figured it out. I just got to be violent with it. You hear that beep? It's yelling at me, saying yes, right there. So okay, I just want to make it very clear, like the footage that I'm going to play. Once this stupid street cable stops yelling back, I'm not jumping on this any bandwagon that this is 100% proof that the Epstein Island is alive and well or anything like that. Well, if that plays the video, maybe that's good enough. I do apologize for this constant annoying. Oh, I love the there we go. I can see you guys again. All right, so let's just play the video while it's intact. So check it out. Let me check here. Okay, you guys are champions. It looks like my camera was unplugged. I don't care. All right, so without further ado, here's a crazy video.
You know these kids are kind of going places they never heard from again, right?
No.
Are you with,
me, sir?
Can I ask what company you're with?
No.
No? You won't tell me?
No.
Okay. Why are you being so secretive?
Don't worry about it, sir. Can you stop bothering me? Don't take a picture of me. You're not authorized to go. To take pictures.
I would like to get a more refreshed image of this laminate. I mean, am I being silly for assuming? I mean, hiding in plain sight is a thing, but he's wearing something with credentials and information. But let's let the tail of the tape continue to tell its tale.
Pictures of me.
This is a public place. Hey, what company you guys with? Where are you guys taking this kid? Is this your kid here? Sir, is this your kid? Hey, ¿cuántos años? It's okay. It's okay.
So,
amigo.
Stating child looks afraid.
Amigo.
Even.
¿Cuántos años?
Do you guys think the child looks afraid to speak to this individual? He's not using, great Spanish. He is trying to clearly get the child's attention, but they will point out soon. Look, the other one's just looking down. I didn't really notice that. So yeah, you're gonna see that. We'll call them the handlers. The way he's kind of side-eyeing looks a little bit intense. I think there's enough here to look into. I just don't know what exactly this is.
¿Qué país?
Looking at the escort, and look down. There's the escort side-eyeing, intimidating sideways.
Hey, are these your kids? No?
Complete ignoring everything. Nobody answers any questions.
Hey, are these your kids, sir?
So what could be going on here that's like not nefarious? Honest question. I mean, it looks bad from every angle. So I turn to anybody that may be watching, or a rewatch squad. Feel free to say something in the comments at the end, because I don't know what I'm looking at. It makes me uncomfortable. So it's definitely going to play on all of our, heartstrings and that natural protectiveness, not one of my better words, it kind of kicks in here.
Everything okay, sir?
Okay, so now it's gonna go again. And shout out, there's Ken Khan right there. He was on Timcast. Fantastic. So there was that strange video. Now I have a little bit of a diatribe. Oh, another great share from Shamrock right there. I'm glad she sent this my way. So my friend that works for Facebook, when I met him at the high school reunion a few years ago, he works for Meta. So whatever all that is, I'm impressed, man. Marco went from the guy that I used to tease and wrestle in the trailer parks to, a very strongly opinionated, successful businessman, family man. Congratulations, Marco. So check this out. He shared this, okay? And you might empathize at first with what you're going to see, but I want to paint the picture, and we don't have to agree. I just want to say the take that Marco and myself both kind of feel. When you yourself are offended, I'd like to ask, do you believe that it would be necessary for all of the powers that be to placate to your emotion? You know what I mean? So this image here, let me just read this. Or okay, here's how it's being played. This courageous 10-year-old who has found this emoji. I don't know. Is that the emoji for the nerd face emoji? He's found it too offensive. So he's made a petition because it makes him feel sad or bad. He's 10 years old. And I don't know how much, it's been on the BBC. I don't know how much it's building up or anything more than this article that I've not read in its entirety. But apparently Apple's taken notice and he's offered his different design, which lacks the two front teeth. Now, I'm going to say it. The kid's intentions are pure, okay? But the company taking it seriously is virtue signaling. And what an example is going to be set for children all around this country or wherever this is in the UK. If you point out to any private company, hey, this over here, makes me feel a little negative, bad, sad, or I remember one time when I was DJing way back in the day over at Kabooms or whatever. I was playing a music video on the giant projector, and a grandma and a kid came by and said, that video is scary. Now, I could have turned it off, but there was at least 60 other people enjoying the video and the music. So sometimes you gotta just stand your ground, and I apologized, and I said it's a part of the video. It's one of Missy Elliott's, and people were wearing like Ghostface or whatever. So I mean, what do you guys think here? Let me see. This is my first time reading it, and I enjoy saving the moment for me to learn in real time. To anybody that bitches about me not doing my homework, enjoy bitching, okay? Teddy, a 10-year-old Apple fan from the UK, has started a petition calling on Apple to redesign the nerd face glasses emoji. Teddy believes that the nerd face emoji's prominent front teeth make it absolutely horrible for people wearing glasses. What? Man, I'm wearing glasses, Teddy. Can I call you Timmy? Teddy, man. I feel represented here, man. They're making people think we're nerds, and it's absolutely horrible. I couldn't think of anything worse. Nope. You got me dead to rights here, Teddy. Nothing worse. Teddy said to the BBC about the glasses emoji, it's making me feel sad and upset, and I find it offensive. I just stick with the bad and upset. Now that you've added offensive, man, this is like a huge virtual signal to all of the groups that wait for an opportunity like this for a company to bend the knee and pander to the lowest common denominator. Now, I don't know. There might be two camps. One camp might be saying, "Oh, look this large corporation that doesn't give a crap about their materials being knocked off and made in China and sold at an exuberant price. But look, oh, they changed the little smiley emoji, and they took the glasses off, or they took the front teeth out, and oh, that billion-dollar company that uses sweatshop labor. Oh, those are great, guys." Reminds me of the Democrats dressing up in Kwanzaa gear. Okay, so it's offensive. Got it. Teddy has taken matters into his own hands. You go, Teddy. And designed a new emoji that he refers to as the genius emoji. Come on, man. I think Teddy's a bit of a nerd, to be honest. Teddy. The design shows a smiling emoji wearing glasses without the horrible rabbit teeth. That's in quotations. I like wearing glasses because they make me. Oh, I put my teeth out, but you couldn't. There's no camera, right? Okay. I like wearing glasses because they make me see a lot better and they look good and stylish. Teddy said that he was inspired. If we can't make fun of people with glasses, by God, I don't want to live in this country or ever think about the UK again. Period. Teddy was inspired to start his petition by one of his teachers, Lisa. Lisa, you started this, you bitch. He's quite vocal about it, but in quite a grown-up way, and I think that should be supported, encouraged, and commended as well. Yes. Is there I don't know, man. I'm curious to check the comments. As of right now, the petition is only circulating inside Teddy's school and town. Oh, I guarantee you it'll go further. He has plans to email it to Apple and launch it online soon as well. Apple hasn't responded to the coverage of Teddy's petition yet. Well, the BBC and CNN will pick up on this immediately, and so will every outraged little group waiting, I don't know. Maybe BLM will get in on this. No, we want communism in a capitalistic country and more mansions and be worth millions of almost $1 billion. We'll be sure to update the story. Okay, well, thank you so much. Let me see if y'all have anything to say regarding the courageous Teddy. What do you guys think? Genius is pretty powerful, for sure. Hey, Garrett, good to see ya. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Bryn? By the way, I gave a little shout out to the name that will not be named. She said some pretty wild stuff, but I said everything that I intend to because she's unhinged. Absolutely. Moving on. Well, let me see the comments though. Okay. Nothing wrong with nerds. No, man. Not at all. I think the system in and of itself, if it really does completely, hey, I'm back. If it really completely changes for this, the emoji changes, and we stop calling it the nerd emoji, and we refer to it as the genius emoji. I don't think it sets a very good precedent or standard, and it shows that, honestly, that you can focus on something so small and distract away from the fact of all the crappy, terrible things that large corporations do, and then they'll be applauded for the cheapest, lowest common denominator, kind of a pander, virtue signal, white knighting, whatever. And all the issues that the company really has, like sweatshop workers or whatever the case, low pay, terrible wages, whatever the many issues are, those fall to the wayside in the face of this stupid emoji thing. But hey, that's what I have to say. Hey, there's my brother from another. What's up, All Things Independent? Good to have you here. Sorry, every time I shout somebody out, there's a crazy person that might give you a shout out on their crazy channel. So let's see. There's this. Okay.
Ago, I tested.
Okay. I got to kind of listen to this appropriately at work, but I was at work, so I didn't really hear it all. So I keep going back to White Underbelly. Okay, so here we are. This is whatever this is it's important. Okay, I think it's about big censorship. That's a thing, man, and we know it. We know it. Every platform we're on. That's why I've pretty much stopped monetizing about 90% of anything I do. I want to be able to say whatever the fuck I want, not worry about monetization or the ad revenue or just people that hold the power. I want to say anything I want to say, and showing material like this as well. So with that, let me stop ranting. Check it out.
9 months ago, I testified and provided evidence to the subcommittee about the existence of a censorship industrial complex, a network of government agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security, government contractors, and big tech media platforms that conspired to censor ordinary Americans and elected officials alike for holding disfavored views. I regret to inform the subcommittee today that the scope, power, and law-breaking of the censorship industrial complex are even worse than we had realized back in March. 2 days ago, my colleagues and I published the first batch of internal files from the Cyber Threat Intelligence League, which show US and UK military contractors working in 2019 and 2020 to both censor and turn sophisticated psychological operations and disinformation tactics developed abroad against the American people.
Isn't that what the CIA is for? I mean, I know they handle business like, foreign and domestic. So, I mean, this just sounds like somebody else is doing their job for them, or are they somehow involved? Something I always ask, because they are literally there to offer propaganda to our very own citizens, to our neighbors, to our countrymen.
Many insist that all that we identified in the Twitter files, the Facebook files, and the CTI files were legal activities by social media platforms to take down content that violated the terms of service. Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and other big tech companies are privately owned, people point out, and free to censor content. And government officials are free to point out wrong information, they argue. But the First Amendment prohibits the government from abridging freedom of speech. The Supreme Court has ruled that the government may not induce, encourage, or promote private persons to accomplish what is constitutionally forbidden to accomplish. And there's now a large body of evidence proving that the government did precisely that.
Why? This shouldn't even be something that has to be fought for anymore. When it was proven, admitted and proven that the DNC, broken record, dead horse, I'm not sorry, the DNC and the Clintons and the FBI all came together and offered the Steele dossier. Is that what it's referred to regarding the Russia collusion to, what was it? Mess with the election. And it was proven absolutely irreversibly false. So we already know that. So why is it still an issue? With that being said, there should have already been done so many things should have been accomplished, and the fact that there's still a fight for these very biased platforms, they can pick and choose whatever misinformation to throw out there. That's devastating and insulting to everybody that's an American citizen.
What's more, the whistleblower who delivered the CTIL files to us says that its leader, a quote-unquote former British intelligence analyst, was quote-unquote in the room at the Obama White House in 2017 when she received the instructions to create a counter-disinformation project to, quote, stop a repeat of 2016. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Information Security Agency, CISA, has been the center of gravity for much of the censorship, with the National Science Foundation financing the development of censorship and disinformation tools, and other federal government agencies playing a supportive role. Emails from CISA's NGO and social media partners show that CISA created the Election Integrity Partnership, EIP, in 2020, which involved the Stanford Internet Observatory and other U.S. government contractors.
Wait, okay.
EIP and its success involved the Stanford Internet EIP.
Okay. So CISA, I'm going to have to look that up while I'm going to skip ahead. CISA's NGO and social media. Okay, so they created this, the funding for censorship. It's one thing when you block some assholes in the chat that want to distract you, but it's a whole other thing when the government's doing it. Okay, and I hope everybody understands that. I've seen and I respect the hardline constitutionalists come in here. You gotta follow it to the letter, and that includes you. Okay, but if you're just here to fuck with me, I don't really have to pay much mind to it. The government, though, needs to be held accountable to the umpteenth degree here. That's serious shit.
Social media partners show that CISA created the Election Integrity Partnership, EIP, in 2020, which involved the Stanford Internet Observatory and other U.S. government contractors. EIP and its successor, the Virality Project, urged Twitter, Facebook, and other platforms to censor social media posts by ordinary citizens and elected officials alike. EIP reported that they had a 75% response rate from the platforms and that 35% of the URLs that they reported were either removed, labeled.
CISA is the most trusted integrated monitoring platform ever, protecting critical infrastructure sectors and government agencies for over 30 years. Jeez, man. And they were, did I hear that correctly? Did I hear that they were funding censorship of, the narrative that they don't want heard? They don't want it to fuck with the status quo narrative.
Or throttled or soft blocked. In 2020, the Department of Homeland Security, CISA, violated the First Amendment and interfered in the election, while in 2021, CISA and the White House violated the First Amendment and undermined America's response to the COVID pandemic by demanding that Facebook and Twitter censor content that Facebook itself said was, quote unquote, often true, including about vaccine side effects. All of this is profoundly un-American. One's commitment to free speech means nothing if it does not extend to your political enemies. In his essential new book, Liar in a Crowded Theater, Jeff Kosef, a law professor at the United States Naval Academy, shows that the widespread view that the government can censor false speech and or speech that, quote unquote, causes harm is mostly wrong. The Supreme Court has allowed very few constraints on speech. For example, the test of incitement to violence remains its immediacy. I encourage Congress to defund and dismantle the government organizations involved in censorship. That includes phasing out all funding for the National.
Every alleged incitement of violence that came from Trump and company is so available, it's not even funny. You could probably just look under your shoe and find something right there. But incitement of violence from the left, just a little tougher to get to. And that's a fact.
Science Foundation's Track F, Trust and Authenticity in Communication Systems, and its Secure and Trustworthy Cyberspace track. I would also encourage Congress to abolish CISA in DHS. Short of taking those steps, I would encourage significant guardrails and oversight to prevent such censorship from happening again.
Civilian oversight, get rid of all these fucking government regulated, just terrible, their existence is not necessary for us to function, and we need civilian oversight. That is understated so hard. The government doesn't want us to believe that we're capable of doing anything when they cannot survive without us. That's how it's supposed to be. And in some magical twist, as they always do, just like the Democrats used to be the Republicans used to be the Democrats, they get to do this shit over and over and over again. And up is down and left is right, and it's insane. And so they've done with the truth and censorship when it's good or it's bad.
Again, in particular, it's very easy to see the line in CISA. They say they're covering physical security, cybersecurity, but they added a third one, cognitive security, which is basically attempting to control the information environment and how people think about the world, including the stories that they tell.
It's alarming.
Finally, I would encourage Congress to consider making Section 230 liability protections contingent upon social media platforms known in the law as interactive computer services to allow adult users to moderate our own legal content through filters that we choose and whose algorithms are transparent.
That's not a very strong demand. It really isn't. That's like the bare minimum demand from anybody. Come on, man. Government give an inch here. I promise we won't take a mile.
To all of us. I would encourage Congress to prohibit government officials from asking the platforms to remove content,
like the FBI being at Twitter and Facebook headquarters, right? And how many examples? There were over 60 when the whistleblowers came out. They admitted that there was over 60 meetings with the FBI inside of Twitter before Musk took over, and now he's a bad guy for some reason. I can't follow.
The Supreme Court may or may not rule unconstitutional next year when it decides on the Missouri v. Biden case. Should the court somehow decide that the government requests for censorship are constitutional, then I would urge Congress to require such requests to be reported publicly instantaneously so that such censorship demands occur in plain sight. Thank you very much for hearing my testimony.
I hope it's not just a pipe dream, aka Hunter Biden. I heard Biden got his ass handed to him. I don't know if he was actually there. Regarding Hunter's activity. All right, here's a quick one. I can't help it. Look, everybody, they call me a TERF, okay? I'm not as progressive as I once was. So he is the story, all right? All right. Again, another Shamrock piece that was sent to me. Thank you to Silver Girl. And thank you to thank you to Queen Survivor for just helping me survive. Period. Oh, I get it. Queen Survivor helping me survive. Okay. And actions, not distractions. What is this? This is okay. Transgender 18-year-old showering with girls at school sparks investigation. Go to the publisher's website. Here we are. Hey, Newsweek. Is it going to ask me to pay? Okay. So, yeah, that sounds like something that should get people. Macy Thanksgiving Day Parade transgender controversy explained. I wasn't aware of one. Oh, controversy. Is this article okay? Let's stick to the point here. And all I can do. All right, I'm not a parent, so I'm not gonna try to white knight. Okay, but imagining like my niece and nephew are like my children. Okay, imagining them being with somebody like my niece at school. Okay, going in the locker room or the showering or whatever the case, and a transgender male is showering near that, and an 18-year-old is going through so many different hormones, aside from, I'm sorry to put it so bluntly, the clusterfuck of medications and testosterone or estrogen or whatever the fuck they're pumping in. All right, I can't imagine how awkward and strange it really is and what's going on in the mind of this. And I'm not trying to demonize the transgender, okay? Clearly, it doesn't look like I'm showing much support because I believe this is an unnecessary thing, and it continues to get our attention, and I don't know how much damn progress we're making, but I'll tell you, there was a unification of the mothers, a notorious Christian right-wing group has actually teamed up with an LGBTQIA group. They teamed up with the lesbians that are like, yeah, this shit ain't right. So look at that. Enough of this bullshit, and the people that you'd never think would see eye to eye can, in fact, unify. That's always, at least, I've tried my very best to make that be the consistent message of this page. That we don't have to always focus on the things that divide us, and we can look at the bigger picture. Okay, so this is one of those examples. All right, so Department of Education, has opened an investigation into an incident at a Wisconsin school involving a transgender woman, that's a man, thank you, student in a locker room with female students. Gross. The Wisconsin Institute for Law, I hope they got statements from all the girls that felt uncomfortable. That should matter more. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, a conservative law firm, everybody's going to say, oh, of course, announced this week that it received a letter from the DOE saying that the department's Office of Civil Rights was opening an investigation into a complaint it filed earlier this year involving a transgender student who undressed in front of female students in the Sun Prairie Area School District. Newsweek reached out to the District of Education via email for comment. What do we got here? Here's a quote. Following the school's failure to sufficiently address the incident, disregard for parents' concerns, and their stonewalling of an open records request, Will worked alongside parents of the school district to seek, why is it WIL? Okay. And remedies from the Department of Education under the Biden administration. Does that make sense? Okay. Nothing's going to happen with the Biden administration. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty said it will. Okay, I get it now. Ha. It's an acronym. Said in a press release on Thursday, the federal government notified Will that in response to our complaint, they are opening an investigation of the SPASD. Okay. Will Deputy Counsel Daniel. Okay. This opening of a formal civil rights investigation is tremendously significant, not only for this case. This case should be a blanket kind of a issue for all of the issues that continue to come up again and again and again. This every time some shit like this happens, it's just another fucking distraction. But we have actual credibility in being outraged by it. It's absolutely unnecessary. And I would go as far as to say, I think the powers that be love the confusion and the dissent it creates. But as a warning to other schools nationwide that embrace new and untested transgender policies without considering the impact on female students, please take the warning seriously. According to Will, in June, it filed a complaint with the DOE after learning that an 18-year-old... Okay, let's see. As the girls began to shower, the male student approached them. Okay, that sounds fucking weird. Entered the shower area, announced, "I'm trans, by the way." Oh, okay, assuming that there's still some peen there, that's grossly presumptuous to just be like, you're all going to be okay with this now. That sounds a bit, what is, can I say, fascist? Like, somebody goes there and says, you're all going to conform to my reality, whether you like it or not. Now here's my junk. Let's all play patty cake. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. And just imagine how much worse it can get. Okay. I'm not going to do the slippery slope argument, but just imagine. Okay. Showered next to the girls. He was initially turned towards the wall, but turned and fully exposed his body to the 4 girls. He had not transitioned medically, so penis, and had the psychological appearance of an adult male. Okay. A biological male that wants to be a woman turned around and let it all hang out, literally, to 4 girls in a school. Understandably, the girls closed their eyes and tried to hurry up and leave the showers. I would hope that the trans individual took note of that kind of a response and recognized that maybe forcing their entire self-diluted worldview on them was not appreciated and read the room. So let's see. Conservatives have continued to slam the LGBTQ plus and transgender community this year after Bud Light. Yeah, okay, I know. Not going on with Dylan Mulvaney. We know all about it. Many Democrats have shown support for the trans... Okay, so literally, showing strangers that are no different than, opening a trench coat and flashing themselves in front of people that didn't expect it. That's what you're defending or applauding. Like, what the F? The President Joe Biden recently calling for an end to discrimination against trans individuals and saying, my administration ended the ban on transgender Americans serving our country. And I saw, yeah, that's going fan-fucking-tastic too, huh? And our tax dollars now is there to pay for every facet of the operation. How many times could we get screwed over? I don't know everything well enough to know how much treatment they can get before they're like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's not. I gotta go. I don't know. And I signed historic executive action to strengthen civil rights protections for all LGBTQIA plus Americans. In the complaint to the DOE, Will said that the locker room incident is a violation of, okay, there's a title there, law involving the prohibition of discrimination based on sex. Okay. Under this law, sex discrimination encompasses sexual harassment, which includes unwelcome conduct so severe that it effectively denies a person equal access to the education program, like the incident that occurred at SPASD. I hope they're referring to the 4 poor girls that had to run out of there. Will claims in this complaint that the SPASD discriminated against 4 freshman girls, okay, on the basis of sex. Not only did the district fail to comply with requirements under this title, but its policies failed to protect all female students in this district. All right, they got their head in the right place here. The law firm said it previously listened to complaints from parents following the incident, and that the female students initially informed an assistant principal who was required to notify the title coordinator, but failed to do so. Oh, you're fired. Over a month after the incident, a principal emailed our client and apologized that had occurred and attached a copy of a restroom and locker room accessibility guidance document. You're not getting off that easy, motherfucker. No one at SPASD contacted the girls to offer supportive measures, you blindsided bastards, or an opportunity to file a formal complaint of sexual harassment. Okay. Spokesperson, let me fast forward here. Letter announcing the investigation will remain neutral. We don't need neutrality. We need somebody to speak to the fucking truth, man. Stop humoring this shit. Okay? Let them, they, whomever, they can live how they want to live, but they do not have a right to impose anything on anyone. That's not the country we live in. Okay? It's not fucking Canada. We applaud the Department of Education Office of Civil Rights for investigating. Okay, yeah, fucking attaboy. All right. Well, sorry. I know it's probably offensive to some people that think I'm on the wrong side of history, but I know where I stand. And at the very last thing I wanted to do was just show you guys something that I found interesting, that I looked for. And perhaps it'll be one of the first live streams that I actually am, showing and explaining a little bit of these comic books. I looked up an anti-hero, and bear with me, okay? Apparently, these comic books showcase somebody who is kind of a reverse Batman that goes after police and advocates and goes on TikTok to get other people to commit violence on these police. Now, I only got to skim through. I haven't gone through it yet, but there is massive law enforcement imagery, violence, and rhetoric in these two books. And it's called Nemesis, and I have a sequel to it. So I'm very intrigued to see just how far they go, and how, because one of the people that I don't like, just like, shout out to 15th Bend, by the way. When I said, yo, you have a loyal following, he's like, I don't like to call it. I don't know the words either. Like, this is just a community, so we'll go with somebody in the community pointed out that they recognize some of the stuff in my comic book shorts is echoing some of the sentiments that are problems in the real world. Like, there was a story of an eco-terrorist who's pushing a new world order kind of a thing in a Batman comic, and she found that very alarming and interesting. So I wanted to just do a bit of that later on. With that being said, though, it looks like, I think maybe the comments froze because everything's unreliable on this computer. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you for joining. Has this been not quite an hour, and nothing but love, okay? And if you're here for the right reasons, you're more than welcome to be a part of this. Jump on panel, send me information, topics, anything that you see fit to. You're all nothing short of a blessing in my life, and that gratitude knows no bounds. And I'm happy to say again, despite people that like to make a mockery of it, I am so proud of my mother. She has moved mountains compared to where we were not long ago. Good night, one and all. D. Libby. Well, now it just sounds like I'm saying good night to just D. Libby. D. Libby and everybody else that I've said hello and goodbye to. Queen Survivor, Shamrock, Independent was here, I'd assume. Good night, guys. Much love. Peace out, Justin. I'm outie.